Hello guys, myself Shantanu Avare welcomes you in a lecture series of Advanced Java. This course has objectives. This course contains some advanced topics like multi-threading, reflection, JDBC, servlet, JSP, JSTL, etc. These topics help students in preparation of the major life project. Student can create ready-to-use application for market. What are the prerequisites for this course? So, students should know the concept of programming in core Java. They have to prepare some programs for different types of loops, then inheritance, exception handling, package, like that. So these contents are included in MSc CS, that is computer science, and MSc IT, that is information technology syllabus. So let's see first unit from these particular courses, that is multi-threading. So in multi-threading, there are multiple threads. So what is thread? A thread is a lightweight sub-process, the smallest unit of a processing. It is separate path of execution. This means it is a sub-part of your program, and these parts are executed concurrently. So that is called as a thread. Threads are independent. If there occurs execution in one thread, it doesn't affect other thread. It uses a shared memory area. This means that there are multiple threads in a single program, and these threads should be independent to each other. There should not be any connectivity between the two threads. The thread is executed inside the process. There is context switching between the threads. There can be multiple processes inside the operating system, and the process can have multiple threads. What is concept of multi-threading? So multi-threading in Java is a process of executing multiple threads simultaneously. The word simultaneously is very important because each and every thread should not be executed one by one. It should be submitted to the processor at a time and is going to execute simultaneously. A thread is a lightweight subprocess, the smallest unit of processing. Multiprocessing and multithreading both are used to achieve multitasking. So basic application of the multithreading is multitasking. Means every user can do a multiple tasks at a time. We use multithreading when multiprocessing because threads use a shared memory area. They don't allocate separate memory area. So memory area is shared by all the threads one by one. So all of you know that job schedulings in the operating system. So similar way, this concept is handled. It saves memory and context switching between the threads takes less time than process. Means in job scheduling, there are multiple processes, and you know that processes get switched between each other while executing the process. So it requires some time. But here, in Java, there is a context switching between the threads. So it doesn't require much time to switch between both threads. Advantages of thread or multi-threading. It doesn't block the user because threads are independent and you can perform multiple operations at the same time. So in previous concept that we have seen, threads are independent. If these are independent, they work separately. So that's why you can perform multiple operations at a time. You can perform many operations together, so it saves time. Once you start multiple threads, it saves the time because execution gets simultaneously. Threads are independent, so it doesn't affect other threads if an exception occurs in a single thread. If there is a small part of a program and it having a thread, that thread contains exception. And if you are going to handle the exceptions of a particular thread, it should not affect over the other threads, and it doesn't happen. So that's why this feature is very important. Now let's go to the life cycle of a thread. What life cycle means? Right from born to the dead state of a particular thing. A thread has 5 states. According to the sun, there are only 4 states in a thread life cycle, but we have added one more, that is runnable state. So Java contains newborn, then runnable, running state, non-runnable, that is blocked state, or you can say resumed state, then terminated. So these are the 5 states. This is a transition diagram for life cycle of a thread. So let's discuss the diagram. So first of all, here new thread, that is newborn thread, it is created by using start method. Once it is created, it sends to the processor. So processor having a 2 state for each thread, that is runnable and running state. So what is meant by runnable? Runnable means you have sent a thread to the processor, but it is not active. What is running state? Running state means you have sent a thread to the processor and it is active. Active means what? It works over the particular thread, and other threads are waiting for the completion of that particular thread. That is running state. Then this is the blocked state. What blocked state contains? It is idle thread. Idle thread means it is blocked for a while. Means there is no execution works on that particular thread. It is called as an idle thread. Okay. So, and last state is a dead state. What is dead state? Kill the particular thread. Means or complete the execution of a thread. Then it goes to the end of the thread, that is called as the dead state. Let's see some methods belongs to that particular processing. So first of all, start method. Start method is used to start the newborn state, newborn thread. Then yield method sends thread from running to runnable state. What is running state? Again, I am going to explain you. running state means a thread sent to the processor and processor works on that particular thread now. That is running state of that particular thread. What is runnable? Runnable state means it is sent to the processor but waiting for a execution. Then suspend, sleep and wait. These are the three methods which sends a particular thread from active state to the idle state, that is blocked state. And also you can recover that particular thread from idle state to running state or runnable state by using methods like notify and resume. And to kill the particular thread or to stop the particular thread, you can say stop method is used. A thread automatically will be goes to the dead end, that is dead state, when it completes its execution. So this is all about the thread life cycle. Thread class. So all of you know that Java is an object-oriented language, and each and everything belongs to a class. So thread belongs to thread class belongs to java.language package. So the java.lang.thread class is a thread of execution in a program. A Java virtual machine allows an application to have multiple threads of execution running concurrently. Every thread has a priority. Thread with higher priority are executed in preference to the thread with lower priority. So all of you know that in operating system, if you have a different processes or jobs that have a schedule or scheduled that particular job, which job should be executed first and which should be next, and each and every job having a priority set. Similarly here, a thread having different types of priorities. You know that if some threads are going to execute simultaneously, which thread will have a high priority and which thread have a low priority. Depending on that, threads are going to be executed. Each thread may or may not also be marked as a demo. So before going to the commonly used methods from the thread, we are going to see one example how to create a thread in a program. So here I have created a first program on the thread, that is class multi1 extends thread, public void thread. Extends thread means your class must be extended by using a thread class. Inheritance. So means these contents of a thread class is invoked in this particular class. So public void run method is used to execute the thread. So run contains the execution statements. Int I, for I equal to 0, I is less than 10, I plus plus. And we have printed thread is running multiple times, that is I. Means when you are executing that particular thread, this loop executes from 0 to 9, means 10 times, and this message will be printed thread is running 10 times from 0 to 9. So this is a thread. Thread is created. And now you have to create the object of a thread in our program main method, that is multi1 t1. T1 is the object of that multi1 class, new multi1, and then you have to start the thread. You have created T1 thread, you have to start that T1 thread. Your thread get executed. Let's see how execution goes. Java C. Okay. Our programs are stored in the particular folder. I have set a path to the Java bean folder. Java C multi1.java. It is compiled successfully. Now execute that multi-1 program. This is the execution of a thread. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Means it doesn't show any effect on the screen now, but afterwards we are going to execute multiple threads at a time. So then we will go for executing different threads. So now let us see what are the different methods belongs to thread. There are a lot of methods, lot of constructors, but we are going to see some major methods which are used simultaneously or multiple times in your program. First method is run method. As you have just seen in the example that you have created a run method into a thread. It is used to perform actions for a thread. Next is public void start. Starts the execution of a thread. As you know that in a main method we have started a particular thread. JVM calls the run method on the thread. Public void sleep. This sleep method is used or it causes the concurrent execution thread to sleep temporarily, cease execution for the specified number of milliseconds. Then is alive. It is used to test if the thread is alive or not. Then yield method, public void yield. It causes the concurrently executing thread object to temporarily pause and allow other threads to execute. Then suspend is used to suspend the thread. Resume is used to resume the suspended thread. Then stop, as we have discussed before, it is stop the thread. Then get priority and set priority. These are the two methods which are working on priorities of a thread. You can set the priority to the thread and you can get the priority of a thread. So priority is from 0 to 10. Get name and set name. These are the two methods which are used to get the name of the thread and changes the name of a thread. So before going to the runnable of an interface, let's see one example of creating a multiple threads at a time. So I have created one program that is multi2. Let's open it. So I have created 3 threads in a single program. This one is the first thread, class thread 1. This is thread 1. It should be extended with the thread as usual. Then and then only this particular class becomes a thread. So in that particular run method, I have executed a message, thread 1 is running multiple times. That is R. Okay. Means 10 times this particular statement get executed in the particular thread. Now, in a second thread, again I am going to do the same operations for the second thread, but the message having a thread 2. Here message having a thread 3. Again, you have to attach I for that. In previous example that we have seen a single thread, here I have created multiple threads, that is 3 threads, and I have just changed a message belong to each and every thread. But here that I have created 3 threads by extending thread class, but I have created a separate class multi2, and in that class I have just added a main method, and in that main method I have created 3 different objects of 3 different threads. Thread 1 T1 equal to new thread 1, thread 2 T2 equal to new thread 2, thread 3 T3 equal to new thread 3. Means I have created 3 objects T1, T2 and T3 of each thread, and just I have start that 3 threads T1, T2 and T3. Means I have sent these 3 threads to the processor at a time. So let's see how it is executed and how it works. So let's save this particular program, then go to the command prompt. Just compile the multi2.java. It is compiled successfully. Then execute that particular multi2.multi2. So if you look towards the output of this particular program, thread 2 is started. It executes 2 iterations, 0, 1. Then automatically the processor jumps to the thread 1. It executes 0, means 1 loop. Then again it goes to the second, again it goes to, depending on the processor's priority, it automatically jumps from first to second, second to third, third to first again, second to third, like that. And it completes the process. Means first of all here, second thread having 9th as a last statement. Means second thread completes its processing first. Then first thread completes its processing and then third. So as we have not set any priority to that particular threads, so that's why processor takes its own priority to the each and every thread. So this is about the second program. Let's see the third program, which contains the different types of methods from the thread class. How methods are executed, that we will see. So in the first thread, what we have created, that is a run method. In that run method, I have used 10 iterations of I, and in that 10 iteration, when I reaches to 5th iteration, then thread goes to sleep state of 5000 milliseconds. So when it will only print first, thread 1 is running from 0 to 4. When it reaches to 5th, then it goes in sleep state till 5000 times. So next is thread 2, which contains yield method. Means thread goes from running state to runnable state. when I becomes 5. Third thread is that when I becomes 5, it goes in wait state. So what is the difference between wait state and sleep state? That is, when you entered into the sleep, it waits for only that much of the time which you have given in the argument. But here in the wait state, if you goes into the wait state, then you have to wake up that thread again by using different methods. So these are the 3 threads which we have created: T1, T2 and T3. T1 dot start, T2 dot start, T3 dot start. Means 3 threads executed simultaneously. Let's see what is the output of the threads. We have compiled it. It compiles successfully. Then execute it. Okay. Just we have seen the output. It starts with the thread 1 to 4 and it goes in the wait state. As you see here, sleep method is used. It goes in wait state. It sleeps the thread. Then thread 3rd executed. Again it goes to the 4th position and goes in yield state. Yes, sorry, wait state. 3rd is goes in wait state. Okay. And then, as you know that first one is in the sleep, third is in the wait state. So priority given to the second thread. It completes its execution. Again, after completing that much of the seconds, sleep thread, that is thread 1, wake up and completes its execution. But thread 3 gets stopped here. Why? Because not any method is used to wake up that particular thread from wait state. So this is the output. Again, see the output. It stops for a while and again completes its execution. So this is the third program which is used to different methods. In that you can use resume, you can stop the method, you can terminate the method in between. So this is third program. Now let's see what is next in that particular topic, that is runnable interface. Now you can create a thread by using thread class and you can create a thread by using runnable interface also. So this is the method to create the thread from runnable interface. So let's see what is runnable interface. Runnable interface should be implemented by any class whose instances are intended to be executed by the thread. Runnable interface have only one method named run. It's having only one method, that is run. Starting a thread start method of a thread class is used to start a newly created thread. Means there is no start method in the runnable interface. You have to use the start method from the thread class. So how to do that? That we will see. But it performs the following operation. Thread starts, the thread moves from new state to runnable state. When the thread gets a chance to execute, its target run method will run. So let's see example of the runnable method, how we can create thread from runnable interface. Just I have created one more program, that is multi-core of runnable interface. This is a very simple thing, that what we have to do. Here only you have to implement your class by using runnable interface. Then you have to use run method to run something, that is I have printed here, only thread is running using runnable interface. Then here this part one is the important. I have created a M1 object of a multi-core. What is multi-core? Multi-core is the interface, the thread, or you can say multi-core is the class which is implemented by using runnable interface. And then you have to pass that M1 object to the thread class, and you have to create your another thread. That is thread T1 equal to new thread into bracket M1. That M1 object is given as an argument to the thread class. Okay. So then we have created T1. So your thread get created, and then you have to use start method to execute that particular thread. So this is the way how you can create a thread by using runnable interface. Let's see how to execute it. Let's see. It is compiled successfully. It is executed. The thread is running using runnable interface. Means you can create the thread by using runnable interface. That is simple. In multiple ways also you can do multiple threads by using runnable interface. So let's see the next topic, which is very important in the thread, or you can say which is very important in the multi-threading process or multitasking process, that is priority. So as you know that in the operating system, there is a job scheduling. Means processor schedule the jobs whatever you have given to the processor as per its priority, or you can set your own priority to the jobs. So here same way, you know that there are multiple threads and the threads get executed concurrently. So there must be somewhat the priority given to the threads by using by the processor. So we can give our own priority to the threads. So what are the priorities? So priorities are represented by the number between 1 to 10. In most cases, thread scheduler the threads according to their priority. But it is not guaranteed because it depends on the JVM specification. As you know, in the just see in the previous example that in first time when we execute the program, it executes from 1 to 4 of first thread and then it stops. But in second time when we execute it, it only prints only two statements, 1, 0 and 1. Then it goes to the other thread. Means depending on the schedule of a JVM specifications, that processor changes its speed. So when such a thing happens, we should have to give our own priority to the thread such that it goes in static way. So there are three constant thread priorities: public static int, minimum priority, arm priority, and max priority. So default priority of a thread is 5, that is normal priority, and the minimum priority is 1, and that is maximum priority, that is 10. So let's see how we can set the priority to each and every thread. So here I have created one more program that I have set the priority to each and every thread. So that program is of script program. Here simply I have created first thread having iteration of I from 0 to 25, that is 25 iterations are there. Then second thread also having 25 iteration, only message is changed. Thread 2 is running and iteration number. Thread 1 is running and iteration number. Here also thread 3 is running and iteration number. Every class is extended by using thread. So these are the three threads that we have created. Now in our main class, just I have created three threads, T1, T2 and T3 of thread 1, thread 2 and thread 3 respectively. Then I have set priority. Third thread as a 10th priority, means maximum priority. Thread 2 having a normal priority and thread 1 having a minimum priority. After setting that priority to thread, I have just executed that threads. So let's see how it works. It compiles successfully. Then just execute it by using Java. So this is the output. Let's see the output. Thread third is started and it completes its execution up to 24 because of top priority given to the thread 3. It completes its execution. Then thread 2 is started. After thread 2 started, thread 1 get priority again. That is shuffles the every time between 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And at last, 2 have completed its working. That is normal priority. And minimum priority is given to the thread 1. So that's why it completes its execution at last. That is, so like that, third priority having a third thread having high priority, it completes its execution first. Then that is second thread having normal priority, then it completes its execution, and then minimum priority thread completes its execution at last. So like that you can set your priorities to the thread. So this is about the priorities of a thread that you can set. And just while doing all these things or in the lecture of threading and multi-threading, we have seen some examples. That first example that we have already demonstrated, that is program to create simple or single thread, then program for multiple threads, then program using different methods used in the thread, then create the program or create the thread by using runnable interface, and last, that is priority, that we have set the different priorities to different threads and execution. So in this way, we have completed the topic multi-threading, and these are the major parts of the multi-threading. Other than that, there are a lot of small topics like synchronization of the thread, or you can set different methods for a thread. So that you can see in deep. So what references I have used here, that is java2point.com and tutorials.com. So these are the two referential websites that I have used for the creating that lecture. So this is about the multi-threading, that is multitasking work through thread. Okay. Thank you.